This will be telling us what's going on with well number 6.
Well number 6, we are actually in the process of updating and upgrading the operation systems within well number 6. This project is intended to replace the pump and motor system, upgrade some of the controls, and then also add a different control system that helps us deal with improving efficiency and decreasing impacts on the system during startup. So what I mean by that is there's a device here that's included in the alternative bid. We have a base bid here that is the pump and motor system and the controls, and then an alternate bid item that was included in the packet that changes to a what's called a variable frequency drive, a VFD. And that is the type of system we're going to on all of our systems today, all of our boosters and wells today, because it allows us to vary the operation of the pump and motor in such a way that we can operate at the sweet spot, if you will, in the efficiencies based on what the system needs are at that particular point in time. So within this packet, the base bid does the pump and motor system. The add alternate, which we're recommending be included, would substitute a VFD control unit so that we can get the most efficiency out of this and decrease the pressure spikes that you see on startup of large motors upon the system by doing this slow start ramped type system that a VFD allows us to do. Getting into the weeds a little bit, so I didn't want to get too far down that path, but essentially this is a contract that will replace that existing older hardware that is within well number 6 with more current, more up-to-date, more operationally flexible equipment that we can put into service and carry forward from this point. The item before you is the award for low bid to the low bidder of KME Specialties LLC. We had 2 bidders on the project. They were very close in their overall bid prices, within about $2,400 of each other. Both of them were well underneath the engineer's estimate on the project, which we were pleased to see. So the recommendation from staff is to go ahead and award the low bid to KME Specialties, award the contract to KME Specialties for the low bid, along with the authorization for the change orders as per normal. I will also mention, as is the case on the last item, this did not go to committee, as the bid opening was last week after the committee meetings, and with the canceled council meeting on July 3rd, we requested permission to bring it direct to council, which is why it's on the regular agenda item this evening.
I got a question on the VFD thing. Which allows a pump to run at the optimal RPMs at whatever time that is, evening, busy times of the day, middle of the night when it's not busy. So I'm guessing that helps the longevity of these pumps. Can you address that?
Yeah, generally speaking, you know, there's always a bit of a trade-off. When the thing about a variable frequency drive is you adjust the essentially the electrical operating point, so the hertz rating within the motor. And if you go too far out, you can cause some detriment to the motor itself. So there's kind of an acceptable range of variability within which you can operate. But in general, the overall life expectancy is at least similar to what a fixed rate would be when it comes to just running it. Where there's an advantage is that, as you said, different times of the day, different times of the year, there's different demands on the system. If you have just a fixed operating point, then that's all you get. And sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's not enough, and you don't have the ability to adjust that operation based on the system. The other really key thing here is there's an item called water hammer, which is a transient flow within a water system. And if you turn on a pump too fast or turn it off too fast or you close a valve too quick, because water's not compressible, it creates a shock wave within the system. When you do that, pressure spike and you can start blowing up things. And so that's where a VFD allows us to start slowly or ramp down slowly so that we avoid those types of impacts on the system.
Okay.
I have a question, but
go ahead, John.
well, I was asked the other day, Les,
do we really have 10 wells? And I said, yes. I said, I don't know whether they're all being used. How correct was I?
We have drilled 10 wells within our history as a city. Okay? Not all of them were operational.
Okay.
Some of those that were, like well number 1, drilled in 1889, ran for 80 years and then was decommissioned. So currently we have 5 operational wells, which is 2, 3, 6, 8, and 9. And then number 10 is going to be coming online the end of next year. And we also have Cemetery Well, which is currently offline. That's one we didn't drill, and it doesn't have a number. It's just called Cemetery Well.
Okay. I'll pass that on. Thanks.
Jim, you had a-
I had a question on since the engineer's estimate was quite a bit more than the bids, that's kind of the reverse of what we've been seeing on just about every project for the last couple of years.
Nice.
Do you know what the factor was there? Was there some component of that?
I suspect it has as much to do with anything that probably the demand upon the contractors that do this type of work is very different than the demand upon utility, road, concrete contractors that we see. There's so much demand upon those types of trades right now that the bid numbers are way up. This type of work is probably a little more steady in that regard, so we're not seeing quite the escalation.
Okay.
That, Mr. Mayor, I would move to accept the load bid from KME Specialties LLC and award the contract in the amount of $196,580 and authorize staff approval for construction change orders in the amount not to exceed 10% of the contract amount.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Jim and a second by John to accept the low bid from KME Specialties LLC, award the contract in the amount of $196,580, and authorize staff approval for construction change orders in an amount not to exceed 10% of the contract bid. I'll start the roll with Walter.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Les.